Smoking has been around for a long time now, since starting in 3000 to 5000 BC. And with today's technology, we have developed a new way for tobacco users, which is called the e-cigarette, or what others call it vapes. And it hasn't been really studied much, so there still needs to be more studies to be done to see if it's better for smokers as an alternative. So people say that it has increased with popularity since 2008, and they say that it's safer, but there hasn't been more studies, like I said. And the use, and I've seen many people in public places use this, so I found this topic to be interesting to research about. E-cigarettes are an alternative to regular cigarettes, and by learning more about it, we will know what it is, the health concerns, and the regulations that are being in place for e-cigarettes. So what I'm going to talk to you about for over the few minutes is the background, how it's used, what it's made of, the differences between e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes, and the regulations. So let's start with the history and how it's used and what it's made of. So first person right here is called Herbert A. Gilbert, and he made the first non-smoke tobacco-less cigarette in 1963, and it didn't really have much popularity until a Chinese pharmacist named Han Lick in 2003 made the modern e-cigarette that we see today. And here's what it looks like, what today is. So it consists of a cartridge, an atomizer, battery, and an LED light. And what's in the cartridge is a liquid that's mixed with nicotine, hypoglycol, food coloring, additives, and flavoring like blueberry, cinnamon, coffee. How it works is that the cartridge is right there, and when a person breathes into it and they touch the LED button, it lights up, and atomizer activates, and it takes the liquid, it heats it up, and the person inhales the nicotine into their lungs, and then they exhale to release the water vapor. And people that use this are mostly people that want to quit smoking, or it's an alternative for them, or it could be celebrities because it's a fashion fad that people use it, or it's also been used among middle schoolers or high schoolers nowadays. Now you know more about e-cigarettes and the backgrounds and how it's used and what it's made. Let's move on to the differences. So here you can see this is another type of form of an e-cigarette that we see today. And studies have shown that there's differences between regular cigarettes and e-cigarettes, such as the obvious, there is no tobacco burned in e-cigarettes, and there is no smoke, and it's water vapor instead. And the amounts of nicotine in e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes are very different. E-cigarettes can have anywhere from 0 to 24 milligrams, while regular cigarettes can have a standard of 9 milligrams of nicotine. So the other difference is the prices between e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes. So the starter kit for an e-cigarette could be around $30 to $100, and almost $600 to maintain a year, because you have to maintain it and replace the cartridges every time. And for regular cigarettes, it could be almost over $1,000 a year for your habits of smoking. Even though they are different, Tracy Hampton, PhD of the January 8, 2014 Journal of the American Association mentioned that about 21% of adults that smoke regular cigarettes also use e-cigarettes. There have only been a few studies on the health problems because it's so new that there hasn't been much time to study it. So one of the health concerns are the carcinogens. There's less carcinogens in e-cigarettes found than in regular cigarettes. Lynn Love in the February 2014 Dance magazine mentioned that studies found that inhaling the propylglycol can decrease lung capacity, and inhaling flavorings such as cinnamon and coffee can harm human cells in your body. And one of the common concerns that people have about e-cigarettes are the secondhand vapor. So the nicotine that's released in the vapor when people are used are inhaled by people around them. So I've told you about the differences, such as the inhaling of the nicotine. So for my last point, I want to share with you the regulations. The FDA, also known as the Food and Drug Association, has power to regulate it, but they have not done that much stuff in the recent years that they have the power. So in 2008, there was a lawsuit that e-companies sued the FDA because they were blocking the marketing of their product in the USA. And in 2009, the courts ruled that they had no authority and they can only regulate as a tobacco product. And without regulations, these e-companies can continue marketing and producing however they want. So if there's no regulations, there's no regulation to the amount of nicotine, like I said earlier. Although there are no regulations, individual states and businesses can regulate them in their own private practice. So Catherine Saleh in the December 4th, 2013 LA Times article wrote, sales of the e-cigarettes to minors are already banned under state law in 59 California counties and countries, including Glendale, Burbank, and require a law to sell e-cigarettes. Now that you have a better understanding of e-cigarettes, I want to go over what I have gone over what I've told you. Learning more about e-cigarettes will help us better understand what it is and how it affects a person's health and regulations. I have gone over the background, differences, and regulations with you guys. So even though it's invented a while back, we need more research before we can say it's better or worse for a person. Thank you.